MG Mike Graham, call him MG, to distinguish him from me. He's very distinguished.
You know the start already, are you?
But not quite as distinguished as I am.
Have you not done those mouth exercises pretty heavy?
No, watch it. Come on, I want to get the agenda out. Right, now then, you've got us for the next 3 hours. To start off with, we're going to discuss the situation involving the disgraceful situation in Uruguay versus Ghana. I can't believe that the world governing body FIFA have not gone back on this and decided that the wrong team is in the semi-final. It's a disgrace that Uruguay are there to play Holland when, of course, Ghana, the last African nation in the competition, and therefore massively emotionally involved in many people's lives, should have gone through and should now be in the semi-final with a chance of appearing in the final in the first World Cup played on the African continent. An absolute disgrace. Luis Suarez of Uruguay saving on the line with his hand.
It was a great save, though.
Well, it was an instinctive save, and everybody says, oh, he couldn't help it. Well, I don't care if he could help it or not. It should have been a penalty goal. Guyan of Ghana misses the penalty, and then they lose in the penalty shootout. Guyan is inconsolable at the end of the game, but the man who's committed the offence and will be banned for the semi-final, Luis Suarez, is jumping up and down, celebrating. It's great, because he knows with just a one-game ban, he can play in the final. I think that's a damn disgrace, and the answer is that goal should have been awarded in much the same way that FIFA should have just seized on the moment and awarded Frank Lampard's goal when England played Germany. It could have changed the game, of course.
But they're just not capable of doing that. Well, in the end, the guy took the hit for the team. I mean, that's what Suarez did. That's what any professional footballer would do.
No, he didn't. He cheated Ghana out of a place in the semi-final.
No, he didn't. They were given a penalty.
Mike, that is an outrage what you just said. It was the last kick of the game. If that ball had been allowed to cross the line, it wasn't a question of it might have done. If it had been allowed to cross the line because the flight of the ball was straight to the back of the net, then Ghana would now be in the semi-final.
Yeah, but if Suarez hadn't stopped it, then he probably would have been castigated by all of the fans back home and saying, why didn't you try and stop the ball going in? What's the matter with it?
Rubbish. There's no law that you can handle the ball on the line. That's absolute nonsense. And you get to that stage where saying, no, we should have handled it on the line, then you're corrupting the very laws of football. So, I want to hear from you, please, if you agree with me. Firstly, the goal should have been allowed. Secondly, now that it wasn't, Uruguay should be thrown out of the competition in favour of Ghana, who were cheated, and I mean that, literally cheated out of a place in the semi-final, which would reawake this competition, by the way, in a huge way. I still think it's very exciting, but reawake it once again to get an African team.
You can't award a goal that didn't go in. How can you award a goal that didn't go in?
The reason the goal didn't go in is because an invisible barrier called the human hand was
but it didn't go in. It didn't cross the line.
It doesn't matter. Under the circumstances, it should have gone in. Give us a call, please. 08717 22 33 44 here on Talksport. Listen to Mike Parry and Mike Graham. It's 8 minutes past 10. Get calling. I mean, Mike, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know how you can possibly defend it. Surely, I mean, come on, you're a decent bloke most of the time, and you know that a terrible miscarriage of justice has been perpetrated here, which has to be put right.
So there are miscarriages of justice all over the football pitch and all throughout the World Cup, and at the end of the day, there are professional fouls that are committed. This is just another one of those. No, you can't eradicate that from the game, because in the end, people will do anything they can to stay in the World Cup, to keep their team in the World Cup, and I don't understand what you expect Suarez to have done, other than to instinctively, as you say, put his hands up, stop the ball from going in, and give his team a kind of a lifeline. Now, if Ghana had been any good, they would have scored the penalty, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
What I would say to you is this: it was such an act of deliberation, it should be punished to the maximum extent. That bloke should not be allowed to play in the next game, the semi-final.
But it's no worse. It's no worse.
But it's the intent. The intent was to cheat, and if you intend to cheat, you shouldn't be allowed to stay on the pitch during the rest of this competition.
But it's just naive. I mean, you often accuse me of being naive about football. I mean, I think you're being incredibly naive, because every single time a professional foul is committed, every single time the last man takes out the attacker because he knows he's going to go one-on-one with the goalkeeper, what are you going to award a goal then as well?
Well, I don't agree with you. It was a certain goal, and it was a certain goal that was stopped. And in rugby, they've got it absolutely right. They award a penalty try, and they should do the same thing in football. Let's go down to Portsmouth and talk to Mike, who's a Pompey fan. Good morning, Mike.
Morning.
Yeah, hello, Mike. Yeah, give us your view on this one, please.
Well, I've nothing much more to say, really, than what you've just said.
Yeah.
I completely disagree with your co-host there.
Old MG.
Mike Graham is my name.
Yeah. I disagree with him altogether. Professional fouls refs have done quite a bit to try and stem professional fouls, especially, as you say, last man.
Yes.
But the case of Uruguay, they should be booted out, but unfortunately I don't think it's in the rules.
No, it's not in the rules, but that doesn't matter. FIFA act quickly within their own constitution. They can change it overnight, provided they've got a committee of 13 and they get a majority on it. They can change it overnight. Thank you very much indeed.
But what about the idea
in Pompey?
What about the idea that the foul which was originally committed, which gave Ghana a free kick, was never a foul in the first place? So the whole situation, you can go all the way back to the beginning of it, where the Ghana player dived to get the free kick, which resulted in the goal. Mike, that would have been very unfair.
We're talking about dead certs here. Let's go back to the lines and get an alternative point of view from Chris, who's a Southampton fan in South Wales. Hi, Chris.
Hi, just like to say, you know, you can't change the rules as you go along, and also, if that had been committed in the 20th minute, people wouldn't even been talking about it. You know, you can't just change the rules now. Oh, they got out. They were awarded a penalty, they missed it. That's football, that's professional football, that's the way it is.
Exactly.
You change the rules if you want to, but you can't change them mid-tournament.
If it had been 20 minutes, Chris, there would have been no certainty whatsoever that it would have resulted in the penalty shootout. But there was an absolute certainty. In this instance, it would have resulted in a penalty shootout.
So you only give it as a goal that was in the last minute, is that your rule?
No, Mike, of course I don't mean that. This should have been awarded a goal anyway, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to introduce the principle of the penalty goal. Now, the penalty goal is applicable at any time between 1 and 90 minutes in a game.
How do you decide whether it's a certain goal?
It's the referee's decision, and the referee's decision is absolute on a football pitch. You may not know that, but that is the case, okay?
But we've already seen referees making so many mistakes in this World Cup that you don't want to give them any more responsibility, surely, for them to wave a flag and go, oh yeah, that's definitely going to be a goal.
You want the referee to be an ever more powerful figure on that pitch, and he's ever more powerful if he says, right, that's it, I'm awarding a goal. That's an extra power and responsibility to the referee.
The game.
Which increases and improves the referee's authority, makes him a more powerful person, and makes the players more wary of doing that sort of thing, because they know they could cost their team the game if they do that.
Well, Suarez knew that he could cost his team the game because he was giving away a penalty, and he was also going to be sent off, so that even if they got through, the team is now much weaker without him, and he took that fall.
Suarez had absolutely no option. He decided to go for it because he had nothing to lose. He knew he'd only get banned for one game, and he